0927 or 0204 4773881. And then we have J&J Makers. They deal in event planning and decor services. Their services include wedding, funeral, naming ceremony, birthday party, corporate event, and others. Areas in our services also are event decorations, catering services, photos and videography, body beautification, waiters and waitresses, pallbearers, undertaking MC and DJing. We have also Namura dealers in all kinds of fishes. We have cropper fish, red snapper, cassava fish, barucada, shrimps, octopus, squid, herrings, or and kako. So you can reach them on 020423 9696 as you have on your screens, and 054383717. This show also we have as I told you earlier on, Benjamin Aqua Enterprise dealers in irons rose. Before we get to what we are supposed to do for this morning, this program promises to be very entertaining, educative, and very informative for you, our cherished viewers watching us live on Facebook. My name still remains Phyllis Biney Hayford, but if you love what I do, you can call me Nana Ama Biney. We take a short commercial break. When you come back, the show still continues. Welcome back from that short commercial break. Starting with what the newspapers are saying this morning, we have the Metro Lens. Metro Lens is saying that special supplement NHIA stakeholders conference inside. Chief of Staff endorses NHIA illegal payment task force. That can be found on the page 2 of the Metro Lens. We have Africa's Democracy Union crowns Akufo-Addo for upholding rule of law. We have again here Samira hit the trail for Bawumia. That is Bawumia's wife starting campaigning for his husband to win the flag bearership of the new patriotic party. And then we have here Gold Board Jewelry appoint Bolare, Joycelyn Dumas as brand ambassadors. That is what the Metro Lens is saying this morning. Moving on, we have the Daily Searchlight. The Daily Searchlight is saying this morning that no structural failure at Roman Ridge project site at Deftraco. Well, with the news surrounding this particular story is that people are saying some structures have collapsed around Roman Ridge, but now Daily Searchlight is telling us that no of such news has happened. Moving forward, we go to Ghana's airport to shut down as Air Traffic Safety Electronic Association declares impending strike. And then we have here again, regional balance could be delaying appointment of defense minister. That is Mr. Odro saying that on page 9 of the Daily Searchlight. We have Victory Bible Church Partners, ANMA, to fix Awoshi Road. That is what Daily Searchlight is saying. And then again, we have woman burns private part of girl 7. That is 7 years old for bedwetting. I don't know what will happen to a woman for you to do such an awful act. Well, that is what the news is saying right now. Moving on to the next newspaper, we have the Daily Graphic. The Daily Graphic this morning saying CD hit 60th milestone. Vice President calls for safeguarding currency integrity. That is what Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman is saying this morning in the news. We have GNPC pushes ahead to take charge of oil project. And president announces state funeral for Nana Ajiman Rollins. That is our mother who just passed away some few weeks ago. So the president has declared a state burial for Nana Ajiman Rollins. The next newspaper is Daily Analyst is saying three-story building collapses at Roman Ridge. That is the same story that Daily Searchlight was saying. There's no such news of that sort happening anyway or anywhere at Roman Ridge. And then it says that 14 workers are being rescued. We have also here Ghana Water Limited at Teshi says there's going to be a shutdown at Teshinungwa. So it's actually saying that Ghana Water Limited shut down Teshinungwa desalination plant. That is what it's saying this morning. Court orders arrest of estate officer after alleged attack on police. That is what is happening. And so when we go to the NPP side, well, you know that the NPP, they are just warming up for them to elect their new flag bearership and other important executive or appointment in the new patriotic party. So it says here that NPP national chairmanship Afoko back again. That is what Daily Analyst it's saying without fear or favor. It's saying this morning. Well, in the news trending the MP for Winneba, that is Honorable Alexander Afenyomakin in Parliament, said they need a real, a fresh state of the anti-LGBTQ plus bill. And so here, Babin, the Speaker of Parliament this morning, is saying that Babin clarifies status of anti-LGBTQ plus. That is what the Daily Analyst is saying. And it says that assures passage in new parliament. That is what it's saying this morning. Well, let's move to the news. The other newspaper, it says the New Crusading Guide. It says here again that Victory Bible Church partners ANMA to fix Awoshi Road, and also Roman Ridge building collapse. No structural failure at project site. Def Traco is saying, well, the New Crusading Guide this morning and Daily Searchlight is bringing the same news that no such thing has happened at Roman Ridge. And aviation engineers down tools tomorrow. That is what the New Crusading Guide is saying over empty promises. Also, NPP flag barrier race. Ashanti youth go wild for Brian Achampon. And also DCOP Taikujo promoted to COP, transferred to head PPSB. And also Woodfield's petitions Accra Police Commander over corporal's alleged misconduct and land guidism. That is what the New Crusading Guide is saying. Martin Kwebu secures deal for Trasaco over Pantine lands. That is all for the New Crusading Guide. Well, the New Chronicle, the Chronicles, that is what, that's the real name here. The Chronicle is saying this morning that NPP chairmanship race enter Paul Afoko. That is what it's saying. ECG overspent budget by 189 million Ghana cedis. PAC refers former managers to AG. And then we have Samira energizes Baumia's campaign. That is all surrounding the flag bearership of the NPP. So we have Gold Board Jewelry unveils Bolare, Jocelyn Dumas as brand ambassadors. That is what the Chronicles is also saying this morning. So if you just joined us, this is Good Morning Effutu AED TV online. We have newspaper now. So for the subsequent bulletins or programs that we do, we talk about politics, we talk about economy, we talk about health, we talk about entertainment, we talk about sport, and whatever that is trending. So get glued as we give you all the trending news across Ghana and then beyond. Well, let's move on to the next newspaper. That is the Custodian. The Custodian is saying that Paul Afoko joins NPP national chairmanship race. That will be found on page 2 of the Custodian. And then it says that Samira World Central Region delegate for Baumia. It's saying once again that stop your unlawful media trial. Minority tells acting general, DUA, that is Dear Annes Akufo Addo, for upholding rule of law. And then again, the same story appears here that Gold Board jewelry picks Bolare Jocelyn Dumas as brand ambassador. You can see on your screen we have Bolare, we have Sami Genfi, and then we have Jocelyn Dumas in a beautiful picture right there. Moving on to the next newspaper, we have the Daily Guide. The Daily Guide is saying the same story here, that Paul Afoko declares bid for national chairman position for the New Patriotic Party, and the Daily Guide network announces new appointment. You can also get the Daily Guide and see what their new appointments are. Well, Gear Bill died with 8 Parliament. That is what Speaker Alban Baben is saying in Daily Guide this morning. Bury Daddy Lumba as scheduled. That is court ordering this, that the family of Daddy Lumba should make sure that they bury him as scheduled. And state burial for Nana Konabdu. That was when His Excellency John Mahama visited the resident of Rawlings family and make a statement, or declared that Nana Kunadu Ajiman is going to receive a state burial. Wontumi escapes bench warrant. That is what the Daily Guide this morning is also saying. Yeah, moving on, we have the Ghanaian Times. The Ghanaian Times is saying this morning that let's sustain stability. That is coming from Vice President Nana Jane Opoku Agyemang from the just ended CD at 60 program that was being held, and it can be found on actually page 12 of the Ghanaian Times. You can see a beautiful picture on the screen that President Mahama shaking Senator Rawlings. That was when they visited the resident to condolence or share their sympathy with them as they lose Nana Kunadu Agyemang Rawlings as their mother. And Ghana will remain part of me. That is coming from Lebanon ambassador. It can also be found on the pages of the Ghanaian Times. And the news here also says that 3.4 billion Ghana cedi injunction strengthens NHIS. Well, that is coming from the Chief of Staffs. The last one for this morning, we have Daily Post. It says stop pricing goods and services in US dollar. Ato forcing our financial or our finance minister is saying that. And Mahama announces state burial for the late Nana Kunadu Agyemang Rawlings as he signs book of condolence opened in her memory. The internet never forgets. Old video exposes chairperson of PAC Abna Osei Asari. Well, it's true that the internet never forgets. So it's telling us we have to mind of what we post on the internet. Gold board, the same story happens to be here also, that gold board jewelry appoint Bolare and Jocelyn Dumas as brand ambassadors for the gold board. So that is here where we end the newspaper review here on AED TV. And I told you earlier on that AED TV online promises to give you the trending news, be it in the newspaper, be it politics, be it sport, be it entertainment, and what have you. So stay glued and join me, Nana Ama Biney, your host, as I bring to you all the trending news in Ghana and beyond. We go for a short commercial break. When you come back, we continue with our discussion for this morning.
Yago J&J Makers Event Planners and Deco Service aka ho ana wire fushia ayawdadwen we ye ayawdadwen ana ponto kesibisi wenyido onua ka wakoma to wiem na fa J&J nsa onye den metrede J&J akwadere woma ososo odu imu mapa dwumejase nsiesie mfonyin na sinitwa dwumejase ezibanye nyimpa ho nsiesie ofantiriye meyin na mesafo hona rodo nsiesie dwumezi hu kasama afosam dwumejase nyumbo ntarpam abefo mfonyin wina abranya to nidin graphic designing onye se ahwe wo de shibi mpa no nsiesie na nada kama madu nyinara J&J wo ho nyimidi na fe no krakra anyi de udwumejase bambo nsem nyinara nya wo dadwen I mean you are secured wazim twitwe wo omani mu ebohu J&J wo simpa enkran kaswa swedro takrade from ho ahomatrofo yido 0549004040 naso 0557273706 J&J Makers, your home of quality services. Yago J&J Makers Event Planners and Deco Service aka ho ana wire fushia ayawdadwen we ye ayawdadwen ana ponto kesibisi wenyido onua ka wakoma to wiem na fa J&J nsa onye den metrede J&J akwadere woma ososo odu imu mapa dwumejase nsiesie mfonyin na sinitwa dwumejase ezibanye nyimpa ho nsiesie ofantiriye meyin na mesafo hona rodo nsiesie dwumezi hu kasama afosam dwumejase nyumbo ntarpam abefo mfonyin wina abranya to nidin graphic designing onye se ahwe wo de shibi mpa no nsiesie na nada kama madu nyinara J&J wo ho nyimidi na fe no krakra anyi de udwumejase bambo nsem nyinara nya wo dadwen I mean you are secured wazim twitwe wo omani mu ebohu J&J wo simpa enkran kaswa swedro takrade from ho ahomatrofo yido 0549004040 naso 0557273706 J&J Makers, your home of quality services.
Welcome back from that commercial break. This is AED TV live on your screen. My name is Biney Hayford. If you love what I do, you can call me Nana Ama Biney. So we were on the newspaper review talking about what is trending when it comes to the daily guide, the daily graphic, the daily searchlight, the daily analyst, and what have you, and all the newspaper that we have in our motherland Ghana. So there was a particular story that the newspaper brought out this morning, and it was talking about the building that is alleged to collapse at Roman Ridge. Well, some news has developed about this particular story, so let's see what the MCE is saying about the Roman Ridge building that is alleged to be collapsed. Well, the municipal chief executive for Ayawaso West, Dr. Michael Mensah, says that a preliminary report on the Roman Ridge building collapse is expected by midday as authorities work to determine the cause of the incident. Speaking on AM show with the media, Dr. Mensah explained that the municipal assembly had already commenced investigations into the collapse, which occurred Tuesday afternoon, injuring 14 construction workers at the site. Dr. Mensah noted that the committee overseeing the probe would focus on assessing whether the contractors involved followed standard building procedures, particularly about the use of support structures during the casting of concrete. He assured that the findings of the investigation will be made public once completed to promote transparency and accountability within the construction center. The collapse happened between a 10-story apartment and the Ghana Institute of Engineering at Roman Ridge, the structure reportedly being undertaken by Fabrico Builders caved in around 12:18 p.m. on Tuesday. So he said that the Ghana National Fire Service has since condoned off the area and suspended all construction activities pending the outcome of the investigation. So this is quite balancing, because the newspapers that we read just few minutes ago, daily Statesman or Daily Searchlight, if you can have it on the screen, was talking particularly about this story, that there is no structure that has collapsed as Roman Ridge. That is what, okay, the Daily Analyst talked about it. So the Daily Searchlight rather said that there is no structure that has collapsed at Roman Ridge. And so where I read this right now is from Joy News Online, and the Joy News Online is saying that really the building has collapsed. So there is a discrepancy of whether which we can know or decipher whether the building has really collapsed as Joy News is saying, or it has not, as the Daily Searchlight it says. So we are a bit curved in the corner. We don't know which is which. But then, as the MCE, that is Dr. Mensah has said, that is the MCE for Ayawaso, Dr. Michael Mensah, has come out to say that the expected report on the Roman Ridge building is to be aired by midday as authorities work to determine the cause of the incident. So if I am being judgmental here, or if I'm being specific about whether the building has collapsed or not, I will rely on what Joy News Online is saying this morning, because they are giving us the real details of the building being collapsed at Ayawaso. So if the Ayawaso MC is saying so, then automatically the building has collapsed. But as to what happened that made the building collapse is what we don't know for now. So this particular story this morning was being said on the AM show today, Wednesday, on their show, to make a clarification of whether or not the Roman Ridge building has collapsed or not. So here, let me read that. It says the Ghana National Fire Service has come into this particular news. And then what the Ghana Fire Service is saying right now is that it says that the Ghana National Fire Service has since condoned of the area and suspended all construction activities pending the outcome of this investigation. So it means that the Ghana Fire Service has now come in. So that means indeed the building has really collapsed. So that is what is drawing attention this morning. So right now let's go to more details of the new patriotic campaigns that is having. We all know that the new patriotic party, that is the NPP, is now doing campaign in various ways to elect their flag bearer. And so this particular story is saying that Brian Achampon team urges supporters to ignore attacks from Baumia camp in Ashanti region. That is coming from the same party, but for the sake of the flag bearership, we have Brian Champon, who is also vying for this same position with Baumia. Yes, and so the camp, what Brian Champon comes is saying that they should, they are urging the Brian Champon team, they are urging them to ignore the attacks from the camp of Baumia. So let me get you into this particular story and read a little bit information about it for you to get the real understanding of what the camp Brian Champon is saying. The camp team of Dr. Brian Champon has appealed to its supporters to remain calm and not respond to what it described as baseless attacks from members of the Dr. Muhammadu Baumia campaign in the Ashanti region. So as you can see on your screen, that new crusading guide was saying that MPP flag bearership race Ashanti youth go wild for Brian Champon. So this is coming from the camp of Brian Champon. It says that in a statement issued on Tuesday, the team said it had taken note of a press conference held by some youth aligned with Dr. Baumia's campaign, which allegedly contained unfortunate insult and false accusations against Dr. Champon. According to the team, the statement released by the Baumia youth also listed the names of some unwilling individuals and even a deceased person as signatories, a development it described as deeply regrettable. The Brian Champon campaign urged all its supporters nationwide to follow suit, do not engage, do not respond, and do not insult. That is actually what the team from Brian Champon is saying. So this has been a back and forth of political strategies for who wins what. Okay, so that is what it's coming from the Brian Champon. I cannot tell emphatically what the Baumia camp is also talking about these accusations, but we will give you further details if we get the hand of what is happening from both the camp of Brian Champon and the camp of Dr. Muhammadu Baumia. And as we read in the newspaper, the wife is also doing campaign in the central region to support the husband to win the flag bearership of the new patriotic party. Well, there are other news stories that are coming in and out as the day goes by, but I will find time to read stories so that you get a fair idea of what the news is all really saying. But let me take you to what we are expecting. Well, this is about a business story. What it's saying, 2026 budget to stay within 1.5% primary surplus of GDP. We are going into the business sector. So let's listen to what our finance minister, Dr. Kasiola Tuforson, is talking about this morning. It says that, and I read from Joy News Online, that the upcoming 2026 budget will stay within the 1.5% primary surplus of gross domestic product, that is the GDP, stipulated in the Fiscal Responsibility Act Act. This is actually what we are looking forward for the 2026 budget. So our Finance Minister, Dr. Kaselato Forsen, has brought up some news surrounding this particular budget, that they will remain within the 1.5% primary surplus of GDP, that is gross domestic product, stipulated in the Fiscal Responsibility Act. According to IC Research, a leading financial market research firm, the government have exhibited sufficient policy credibility to stay within fiscal limit in 2026. So as the program is going on, you can bring in your comment, likes, and suggestions of what you are expecting to be in the 2026 budget. Okay, so that is all. We go into another trending story. This is coming from the IMF. It says that IMF board approval for fifth review of Ghana's program to be secured in December 2025. So if you have been following particularly about this IMF, when the first trench came, the third, and what have you, we went to the IMF to take money to help our economy. So right now the IMF is saying that they will come to Ghana in December 2025 to have their fifth review that was secured. So let me read a little bit about this story for you. The board approval by the International Monetary Fund for the fifth review of Ghana's bailout program will likely be secured in December 2025, IC Research has predicted. So this is a particular research institution that has predicted that the fifth review of the Ghana's bailout program will come in. So he said that this is coming after the government of Ghana and the IMF mission reached a staff level agreement on the fifth review in October 2023, as authorities met all 6 quantitative performance criteria and 4 indicative targets for the period to end June 2025. The approval will trigger a disbursement of $385 million by the fund, which strengthened the forex reserves ahead of the January 2026 Eurobond debt service, estimated at $689.0 million. So this is particularly what the IMF story is talking about. So come December 2025, we are expecting our IMF to come into the picture to have their fifth review. Yes. And so let me go to sport. Let me dive in from there. Well, we went to politics. Now we came to business, IMF, and the 2026 budget. So now let's go do a little bit of sport, right? The future is bright for this team, Kim Lass, on Black Queens squad. Have you heard that the Black Queens have qualified? They have actually qualified. So the head coach for Black Queens, Kim Lass, believes there is a lot in store for the squad following their qualification for the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations. Ghana recorded a 7-0 aggregate win over Egypt in final round of qualifiers to make it back-to-back appearances at the continental tournament. The head coach side for the 2 games against the Cleopatras had 22 players from the squad at the 2024 edition of the WAFCON in Morocco. While speaking on beefing up the squad subsequently, the Swede admitted to Ghana boasting a great pool of talents at its disposal, even on the domestic scene. So a big shout out and then congratulations to the Black Queens for making an entry into the WAFCON Morocco 2026. Actually, they beat their counterparts with a very huge score. So that is a good win. Ghana, we are winning. That is a win-win for Ghana. Our women are doing very, 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 very much well over there. So as you can see on the screen, we have a very beautiful picture of the Black Queens in their white jersey and their yellow jersey. That is a win-win for Ghana. So come 2026 at Morocco, we are going to take the cup again, because Ghana, we are meant to win. Okay, so that is what is happening in the sports of news when it comes to the Black Queen side. So a very good news coming from the Black Queens side this morning. Well, if you want details of this, you can still catch more on AED TV, where we promise that we give you all the trending stories, be it politics, businesses, entertainment, sport, and what have you. We blend or cook it for you, and we present it to you for you to watch and then relax as you watch us. So if you just join in, my name is Phyllis Barney Hayford. If you love what I do, you can call me Nana Ama Biney. We bring you what is trending in the newspaper, be it politics, be it business, entertainment, and sports. So we are continuing to, before we bring the show to an end, we are also going to talk about we are still on sport, talking about the Black Queens. Yes, so I told you earlier that we won. Yes, we won. So the Black Queens head coach Kim has reaffirmed his commitment to the team despite report of a potential big offer ahead of the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. The Swedish tactician, appointed in February this year, guided Ghana to a third place finish at the last edition of the Continental Tournament. The 43-year-old, who replaced Nora Haptel after her contract expired and she left to join Zambia, has now led the Queens to qualification for next year's competition. Ghana eased past Egypt 7-0. You know, this is 7-0, not 1-0. Ghana, we are winning. This is actually 7-0. It's not easy for you to score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. That means Black Queens, we are on the go. We are winning. So this is coming from the camp of the Black Queens as they win and beat. They slapped. They I don't know what to say, but they slapped the Egyptians. Okay, this one is like as God was leading the Israelites from away from Egypt. You see, so they were even slashed. They were beaten 7-0. That is a good win. Okay, so Black Queens, we are winning, and we hope it continues like this. So another I think we are done for the news stories. This one is actually from the Black Queens, that is sport. So let's go to the cross our borders and go to the international ones. As the stories comes in, then we talked about it for you to have a fair idea and understanding of what is happening. So, well, a sad news coming from Gaza. You know that they are having this fight. So this morning, 29th of October 2025, at least 50 Palestinians were killed in a wave of Israeli strikes in Gaza on Tuesday night. The Hamas-run civil defense agency and hospitals, they are saying that Israel defense minister accused Hamas of an attack in southern Gaza that killed an Israeli soldier on Tuesday and of breaching the terms on returning deceased hostages, that is their bodies. Hamas claimed it had no connection to the attack and insisted it was committed to the ceasefire. Well, because of this news story, the U.S. President Donald Trump has also spoke about this particular story. So what is he saying? He said the U.S. President Donald Trump maintained nothing would jeopardize the ceasefire, but added that Israel should hit back when its soldiers were targeted. So that is what the U.S. President Donald Trump is saying on this particular story. And I repeat again, it says nothing would jeopardize the ceasefire, but added that Israel should hit back when its soldiers were targeted. The Israel strike hit homes, schools, and residential blocks in Gaza City and built Lahia in the north of Gaza, and Nusrat in the center, and Khan Younis in the south. A civil defense spokesman told AFP news agency that at least 50 people were killed, including 22 children, and around 200 others were injured. So this is particularly a sad story coming from our international countries, that 50 people are being killed. So this is a very, very sad story when you hear that children, our future leaders are being killed, parents are being misplaced. Why? Because of I don't know how to call it. So this is a sad, really sad. It's really sad coming from the international side of this particular story. So we have other trending news stories that is coming. Private sector credit to GDP remains negative as of August 2025. This particular story is also talking about the GDP, but who is saying that it's the Bank of Ghana governor that is talking about this particular story. It says the private sector credit to gross domestic product, that is the GDP, gap remained negative as of end of August 2025. That is what is actually saying. Indeed, it is at an all-time low. The private sector credit to GDP gap as another measure for macro financial risks. A positive credit to GDP gap indicates that total private sector or credit extension relative to the size of economy is above its long-term trend and vice versa. According to the central bank, Ghana's credit to GDP remains negative and declining, suggesting the need for measures to promote credit delivery to support the real economy. Meanwhile, the soundness of the banking sector continues to improve as at August 2025. So this is what the news stories are making waves this morning, 29th of October 2025. If you just joined us, this is AED TV. We are going for a commercial break. When you come back, the program still continues. Stay tuned.
Yago J&J Makers Event Planners and Deco Service aka ho ana wayirfo hia ayawdadwen weyiye ayawdadwen ana ponto kasibisi wenyido onua ka wakoma to wiyem na fa hye J&J nsa onye den metrede J&J akwadere woma ososo odu imu mapa dwumejase nsiesie mfonyin na sinitwa dwumejase ezibanye nyimpa ho nsiesie ofantiriye meyin na mesafo hona rodo nsiesie dwumezi hu kasama afosam dwumejase nyumbo ntarpam abefo mfonyin wina abranya to nidin graphic designing onye se ahwe wo de shibi mpa no nsiesie na nada kama madu nyinara J&J wo ho nyimidi na fe no krakra anyi de odwumejase bambo nsam nyinara nya wodadwen. I mean you are secured wazim twitwe wo omani mu ebohu J&J wo simpa enkran kaswa swedro takrade from ho ahomatrofo yido 0549004040 naso 0557273706. J&J Makers, your home of quality services. Yago J&J Makers Event Planners and Deco Service aka ho ana wayirfushia ayawdadwen weyiye ayawdadwen ana pontu kesibisi wenyido onua ka wakoma to wiyem na fa J&J nsa onye den metrede J&J akwadere woma ososodo yi mu mapa dwumejase nsiesie mfonyin na sinitwa dwumejase ezibanye nyimpa ho nsiesie ofantiriye meyi na mesafo hona rodo nsiesie dwumezi hu kasama afosam dwumejase nyumbo ntarpam abefo mfonyin wina abranya to nidin graphic designing onwete se ahwe wo de shibi mpa no nsiesie na nada kama madu nyinara J&J wo ho nyimidi na fe no krakra anyi de dwumejase bambo nsam nyinara nya wodadwen I mean you are secured wazim twitwe wo omani mu ebohu J&J wo simpa enkran kaswa swedro takrade from ho ahomatrofo yido 0549004040 naso 0557273706 J&J Makers, your home of quality services. Yago J&J Makers Event Planners and Deco Service aka ho ana wayirfushia ayawdadwen weyiye ayawdadwen ana pontu kesibisi wenyido onua ka wakoma to wiyem na fa J&J nsa onye den metrede J&J akwadere woma ososodo yi mu mapa dwumejase nsiesie mfonyin na sinitwa dwumejase ezibanye nyimpa ho nsiesie ofantiriye meyi na mesafo hona rodo nsiesie dwumezi hu kasama afosam dwumejase nyumbo ntarpam abefo mfonyin wina abranya to nidin graphic designing onwete se ahwe wo de shibi mpa no nsiesie na nada kama madu nyinara J&J wo ho nyimidi na fe no krakra anyi de dwumejase bambo nsam nyinara nya wodadwen I mean you are secured wazim twitwe wo omani mu ebohu J&J wo simpa enkran kaswa swedro takrade from ho ahomatrofo yido 054900
Okay, well, apart from J&J Makers, we have Benjamin Aqua Enterprise dealers in iron rods, cement, all types of cement, iron rods, building wires, building materials, customer service, and what have you. They can be located at Winneba Town or Sanko Junction. You can call them on 0243421927 or 0204773881 for more informations, and also get your cement for your construction works, iron rods, building wires, building materials, customer service, and what have you. We come to the end of this interesting program. Yes, we started around then we talked about the newspaper, what is trending in the newspaper. We talked about politics, we did business stories, we did sports, and then what have you. We promised that AED TV, we are the best. We say the pride of Africa. So meet same time tomorrow as we come to your way again to give you the stories, elaborate more, and explain to you more what is trending in the newspapers. We have a discussion. We are in the month of October. You know, October talks about the Pink October, that is breast cancer awareness. So we have a health discussion about it too, political discussions, entertainment and sport, and what have you. Anything that is trending, we got you right here on AED TV. My name is Biney Hayford. If you love what I do, you can call me Nana Ama Biney. A very big thank you to my producer, Mr. Philip Robertson, and Mr. Jones for streaming online for you to see us. We have another crews that behind the scenes. I will take time to mention their names as the program goes by, starting from tomorrow and it continues till we are done for the day. So thank you very much for sticking and staying with us throughout this 1 hour. I know you enjoyed, and it promises to be very, very interesting as we go on. So meet me, Nana Ama Biney, same time tomorrow morning for Good Morning Effutu. Have a good morning, and thank you for staying tuned with us.
Way ago. J&J Makers Event Planners and Deco Service aka ho ana wire fushia ayawdadwen we ye ayawdadwen ana ponto kesibisi wenyido onua ka wakoma to wiem na fa hye J&J nsa onye den metre de J&J akwadere woma ososo odu imu mapa dwumediase nsiesie mfonyin na sinitwa dwumediase ezibanye nyimpa ho nsiesie ofantiri ye meyi na mesafo hona rodo nsiesie dwumezi hu kasama afosam dwumediase nwumbo ntarpam abaefo mfonyin wina abrenya to nidin graphic designing onuete se ahwe wo de shibi mpa no nsiesie na nada kamamadu nyinara J&J wo ho nyimidi na fei no krakra anyi de dwumediase bambo nsam nyinara nya wodadwen. I mean, you are secured wazim twitwe wo omani mu ebohu J&J wo simpa enkran kaswa swedro takrade from ho ahomatrofo yido 0549004040 naso 0557273706. J&J Makers, your home of quality services.